And now back to our Locked On Senators 2025 draft rankings. We are into the first round. We've got a USHL rookie who came over and looked great. He was once considered one of the top prospects in this age group, but now Ivan Ryabkin is just hoping to be a first-round pick at all.
Ivan Ryabkin is the most fascinating prospect we have covered yet, Ross. I am so intrigued with this guy. I have most of my prospect profiles, Ross, fit nice and perfectly on one page.
Well, yeah, because they're all at 3 stars.
So, well, just wait. But Riabkin, I've got over a page and a half here because there's just so much to dive into this guy. Let's just start with the numbers. He is April 07 birthday. I've got him at 6 feet, 198 pounds, left shot center. He started the year in Russia. He's a Russian-born player. Balakovo, Russia. We all know it. And he was playing with Dynamo Moskva and St. Petersburg, depending on which league you're talking about. But he spent majority of his time in the MHL, 15 games, only 1 goal. He didn't score a goal till December, 11 assists, 12 points. Then he got some time in the VHL, 8 games, 2 assists, and even got a quick espresso shot in the KHL, 2 games, no goals. But it was a lack of discipline, Ross, and taking multiple penalties in the MHL. He was healthy scratched for a handful of games, and him and his camp and the team kind of decided, okay, this isn't working out for either of us. And he said, I'm going across the ocean.
Coming to America.
Yeah, coming to America. I guess Pacific, if you're going Russia to America, that's the way you would go.
Great movie, by the way.
And he goes with the Muskegon Lumberjacks in the USHL, and he figures it out. In 27 games, 19 goals, 11 assists, 30 points, over a point per game, +6, and racked up 70 PIMs in 27 games. In just a few games in his USHL career, he got a suspension for slew-footing a guy. So to say Ivan Ryabkin is hot-headed would be putting it lightly.
At one point considered the same level of prospect as Matvei Michkov and Ivan Demidov.
He was putting up similar MHL numbers to those kids.
Yeah, he broke Michkov U17 scoring record. Scott Wheeler mentioned he put up similar numbers to Ivan Demidov in his draft -2 season. He's younger than Demidov by 4.5 months. But when you look at Ryabkin coming in at number 19 on Bob McKenzie's list, number 20 for Craig Button, 27 for Scott Wheeler, 35 for Corey Pronman, 39 for McKeans, and 52 at Elite Prospects. That averages out to a 32 average, and he is 32 on our list. And in Elite Prospects Draft Guide, they say shades of Ridley Gregg, shades of Barrett Hayton. He's a violent centerman that needs to learn where the line is. But if you are curious about how he's going to play in high leverage situations, his Muskegon Lumberjacks won the Clark Cup, the USHL championship this season, and he contributed 16 points in 14 playoff games. So I think that that's going to turn heads of scouts that say, hey, look, we've wanted this guy to figure it out and be a more responsible player. Was he always responsible? No. Did he have 30 penalty minutes in 14 playoff games? Yeah, he did. But he also was able to produce offense. So I think that you're looking at a guy who maybe if he pops off could be a top 6 NHLer one day, but in all likelihood, you're drafting him to be a third-line center that is a pain in the ass to play against that can chip in occasionally offensively.
Oh, see, I've got a different opinion, Ross. I think you're drafting this guy to be a top 6 winger.
Whoa.
I don't think Riabkin should stay in the middle of the ice. He doesn't have the discipline. He doesn't have the pace. EPs, go check out the EP draft guide out now. Easily the best, most informative draft prospect analysis you can get. Hundreds and hundreds of pages, thousands of scouting reports. So I flipped through a couple of the scouting reports for Riabkin, and a lot of the scouts at EP, Cam Robinson, one of them, saying this guy likes to coast a lot. He's gliding a lot. The controller is dying on the PS5 when it's time to come back for the back check. So I don't think the middle of the ice makes sense for him, and I think he can get away with that type of play more on the wing. But you cannot underestimate or overlook this kid's skill. We talked about it. He was talked in the same realm as Demidov and Michkov. Those guys are bona fide studs that are likely going to be superstars in this league. He is a blast of a one-timer. He's got a quick release. He's a shoot-first guy, but he can make great plays. Like the assists he was getting in the USHL, Ross, weren't just, oh, I touched the puck and the play moved along and a guy scored. It was him being in a great spot to shoot, but seeing that there's a better option and passing it over, and guys are getting backdoor tap-ins. Like for a sniper to have that ability to read and recognize those plays is incredible. He's an absolute merchant on the power play. Like when he's on the power play, he's the guy they're cycling the puck around to try to get it to him. He's the finisher. And when he gets that one-timer in his wheelhouse on a tee for him, the goalies, it was like he would blast it, it would go in, and then the goalie would move his glove. Like they're not even on track to almost stop this puck. The talent that this kid has is top tier. I'm willing to put that out there. And I like Scott Wheeler's write-up because he was like, oh, I really don't know where to put this guy. But he mentions, hey, if we're going on talent, I've got to put him at 27. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ross, but I believe Scott Wheeler was the highest, if not one of the highest.
Third after Bob and Craig Button.
Yeah, and Bob's is interesting because that was done so long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you're a team that's going to look at drafting him, you see the talent, but you've got a project on your hands. A lot of the reports from EP say players and coaches mention he is not easy to get along with. He's not easy to coach. He's a guy that does things his own way. He's hot-headed. I think, Ross, he knows where the line is. You mentioned he's got to find where the line is. I think he knows where it is. He just doesn't give an absolute damn where it is. And you're going to have to work that out of him. And it's going to take time to do that. But if you're successful in that, I think you have a top 6 player here.
Yeah, I mean, the skill is undeniable. Do you think that it would be beneficial if a team that drafts him already has kind of a Russian flavor to it, a Washington, a Tampa? Not that they're in the range to get him. Neither team has their first round pick, but that type of organization.
Yep, I think you would want a veteran Russian mentor, someone that can make him feel comfortable, but also be like, look, I know what you're experiencing. I know what you went through developing in Russia. Things are a little different over here in North America. We're going to have to work on that discipline. But if you can figure that out, and if you can play the way the coaches want you to play, you're going to get your cookies on the power play. You're going to get your top 6 minutes. You're going to be able to perform, and you can have a very good NHL career. But we're talking about teenagers here. Like, can you decide through a couple Zoom interviews and watching him do drills and watching video of him that this is a guy that's going to mature and figure it out? That's going to be up to the scouts and the general managers to decide when it comes to draft time, Ross. I can see this guy going as early as middle first round or as late second round.
If he gets to the middle of the second round and Pittsburgh's on the clock, I think that could be a decent fit for him, although they don't draft until 59. Yeah, exactly. I'm just thinking of teams that kind of need to have more depth in their prospect pool, like high-end talent, and that have that quote-unquote mentor built in that Ryabkin will need. Heck of a player, though. Heck of a skill set. Your Sens stars for Ivan Ryabkin.
I hummed and hawed about this for a while, Ross, but I'm going 4 stars. If you can get him disciplined, if you can work with him, you could, I don't know.
It's a dangerous combo, though, to say we need more discipline, but we also need more effort at some points. Because usually it's like, hey, we got to rein this guy in overall, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. For
sure. Yeah, it's not one of those like he's getting penalties because he's trying too hard. He's getting penalties because he's pissed off and just acting out. I think this guy, if a team that drafts him can work with him and properly mold and develop him, we could be talking steal of the draft territory. Like,
okay, really?
I'm serious. That's how good this kid is skill-wise, in my opinion. So, Ross, I would have even gone 4.5 stars or flirted with 5, and I also thought about doing 3 or 3.5 stars because the discipline is a big deal. And kids these days sound like a boomer. Kids these days, but they have a lot of entitlement, and he might just be like, look, I know I'm better than this. I don't have to listen to you. I'll just do what I want. And that could derail things for him.
All right. We'll see where the most interesting player in the draft, according to Brandon
So far,
Piller, Ivan Ryabkin, goes. He comes in on our list at number 32. You can go check out all of our draft profiles on YouTube.